it's colder in my office than I want it to be. So I am in a different room. And if you know, if you know anything about a sunroom has no heat. It's supposed to be heated by the sun, but there's no sun today. And it's just super cold. So, so there is no sun in my sunroom office. So I did purchase the house though with that in mind. I was like, oh, I really love that. But I didn't think that in wintertime it's going to be super cold. So I know that some of you are still coming back. It's still a little early. So as you're wandering back to your seat, let me bring up my slides. So for those of you that weren't here during pray-in, I asked everyone to please get a piece of paper and a pen and to be prepared to do some work this morning because we are going to be working on ourselves. Now, it's interesting that we come to a spiritual gathering and we have to work on ourselves. And it used to be once upon a time when I was younger, I used to think that I would, by going to a spiritual service, everything would work out fine. That I am doing my job, I am doing the praying, I am doing the thing that I need to do in order to be able to be healed, fixed, or otherwise push me in the direction I need to go. But years later, I figured out that it isn't enough to be available, to ask, and to sit and wait. Sometimes, in fact, most times, we have to move forward. We have to take action. We have to live what it is that we believe. And that's what we know here at Unity. We know that we are supposed to live the principles that we know. And that also means taking action. So today, we are taking action. For those of you that haven't been here before, my name is Lori Irwin Johnson, and I am the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tacoma. And so I welcome you if this is your first time. If you've been here before and you've been here several times, thank you for joining us again. And again, it is snowing in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm so glad that you still have power, so glad we still have internet, and I'm praying that that continues throughout the entire message. So we are currently finalizing the workshop that we were going to be finalizing a couple weeks ago, but circumstances made it so we weren't able to do it. So we're going to be doing it today. We're going to set our intentions for the new year by setting goals. So by doing that, let's pull up my slides. And like I said, please forgive me today. I have to go back and forth between slides and Zoom. And usually I have two screens to do that, but not today. Today we are trying something fun, something new. So share the screen. Okay, that's correct. Thank you. All right, so all right, so dream big, set goals, and take action is our theme for today. But before we start, I would like to invite Victoria. Victoria, are you ready to do our announcements?
Oh, sure, I can be.
Okay.
All right, just a minute. Let me get on that page. Okay, so on the screen, it's showing that we are live streamed during our service. We do start, however, at 9:15 in the morning with our pray-in and discussion, which is not recorded. And after the service around 11 o'clock, we do continue on with the same YouTube channel, same website to further discussion of the service. So I invite you to join us You look at 6:30 in the evening and oh, was I muted for part of that time? I hope not. At any rate,
You were, and I wasn't sure if it was me, if I froze, or if you froze,
do
or,
I
and
need
it's
to
okay.
start over?
Start back to, letting everybody know about the announcements on the event page.
Okay.
Okay.
So announcements on the event page would be, first of all, our new member class, which
Mhm.
is continuing. It's from 6:30 until 7:30 or so on Thursdays, and the final class will be this Thursday, the 6th. And all are welcome to join, whether the class, you don't have to have been to all the classes. You don't have to be necessarily uh, wanting to gain membership. You can come for information,
Want to join
and,
this sorority? Yeah,
and
you
we
want to join
always
the
like to have existing members come as well. For the outreach program, for making sandwiches for the unhomed, we're continuing to search for a new location to do our actual sandwich making. We potentially at this point have a new place found for March 1st, which is the first Saturday in the month, which has always been our sandwich making day, which will be March 1st. But I will keep the team informed of how that is going. Plus, we have other alternatives that have searched. The universe is answering our prayer, and we will have the perfect and right place or places and resources as they come flowing in, as the universe supplies our every need. And the hats and mittens that we're making to serve the unhomed at Nativity House Shelter, we are still asking for donations of those. They keep coming in. And I think that's it for today. Is that it, Lori?
I believe so, unless you
Okay.
wanted to give an update of what's happening with our sandwiches.
I think I just kind of did that.
Okay.
I don't want to put out at this point
No,
particulars other than, another piece of that is that Nativity House does have a need that we can serve in the month of February. And that is that they have received a huge donation of clean donated clothing, blankets, and warmth supplies for the unhomed, more than their space can accommodate, and therefore they've had to shut off donations of that kind until they can get it all sorted. They would like our volunteers in the month of February to in fact participate in that sorting. And that's where a real need is right now. So we're going to be trying to hold that. And it looks like the first time might be next Saturday. Excuse me. Yes, next Saturday, February 8th, followed by February 17th and February 24th. Dates and times will be confirmed later as it solidifies. I think that's it.
thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that update, letting
Thank
us know what's happening. And I also appreciate all the work that you're doing, getting us reorganized with the sandwiches and also other things that we can continue our outreach in the community. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and say our prayer for protection. It will be on the screen momentarily. All right, let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So as we're sitting in this moment of prayer, let's take into consideration all the things that are happening in our lives, all simultaneously, all at one time. There are so many things going on in the background, so many things that we pay attention to, things that we don't pay attention to, things we know nothing about. But let's just pause for a moment. And as everything in its chaotic swirl around us, allow that to happen as we settle in this moment. Allow us just to be present, to be here, to be willing and able to look to the future and say, this is where I want to be. And as all of that information and energy is swirling around us, as we create our goals and move forward, we can grasp on to some of that energy to infuse what it is that we want to create. We become co-creators then of our world and of our lives. And so today's intention is to take the energy that is always available, that source from which we pull each and every day, whether we know it or not. We intentionally pull that energy in and attach it to the goals we will be creating today. We're so grateful for this opportunity to be together, be able to be safely at home as the snow swirls outside and the temperatures are cold, but we are warm inside our homes, inside our hearts, and holding those that are unable to be in a warm environment. Hold them in our prayers as well, knowing and seeing them held in a space where they are finding comfort and support. And so it's with gratitude I say thank you. Thank you for all of this time that we spend together, this time we share together. And so it is. Amen. All right. I actually asked you to go ahead and to grab a piece of paper. And so if you have that piece of paper, I'd like you to get it out. And right now I'm going to close this out. And I would like to first say our affirmation. And our affirmation for today will be on the screen momentarily. I'm sorry, this is bulky today. I usually don't. I'm not this. It usually goes much smoother, but today I only have one screen. All right, our affirmation for today. I have the clarity, motivation, and confidence to achieve my goals. So let's say that again. I have the clarity, motivation, and confidence
to achieve my goals.
So we have so many goals. We have so many things that we do each and every day. We get up in the morning, we have a schedule. We have things that we create, whether in our minds before we go to bed or when we, the day before, or maybe immediately upon getting up going, oh, I need to do this today. And then you create this really long list of to-dos. How many of you have a to-do list? I have a daily to-do list. I have a daily schedule. I have a calendar. I have all of these things that are striving and driving my world each and every day. And so how many of those, though, are things that you feel that you have control over? See, there are so many things in this world that we try to control. There's so many things that we think we could try to control, that we try to get a hold of and to veer in the right direction. But how many of those things do you really have control over? Not very many. The only thing that you really have control over are your own responses and your own ideas and your intentions. You are the driver of your own bus. So with that, you want to make sure that when you're moving forward, that you are not in a space where you are letting the bus drive you. I often find myself, I have a long list of things I do for every day. I have my job, I have my home, I have my family, I have all of these things that are driving me each and every day. And I feel like I have a good handle on what's happening. I got a hold of the steering wheel on my bus. But sometimes I feel like I don't have a good map to show me where I would like to go, unless I am to set my own intentions, that I set my own goals, that I am completely purposeful about what it is that I want to do. So I'd like to read you something that was written by Eric Butterworth in 1975. And we think that 1975 was a long time ago, and it really was. For some of us, it was a long time ago. Some of us, it may not seem so long ago. But 1975, things haven't changed that much in our consciousness since then. And I wanted to read this. This is written by Eric Butterworth, and maybe it'll get us on a good framework for what we're going to be doing today. It reads, "You may feel that you have gone as far as you can go in life. If so, you have limited yourself to purely horizontal goals, just getting there, making money, winning fame, etc. There's nothing wrong with any of these, but we need to set ourselves vertical goals, growth in consciousness, self-realization. Life is a continuous experience of growth and change. We may assume that our lot is unjustly hard because we think that the goal of life is ease and security. We may be worshiping material success, peace of mind, and the demonstration of these at the end of every treatment of prayer. These things are fine. Certainly, we all long for happiness, but there is no true happiness except on the way of self-discipline and growth. Happiness comes not from escaping problems, but from meeting them and growing through them. When we understand our growth potential, we expect growth from every experience. Thus, when some unfortunate experience occurs, we do not resist or resent it, or spend our time trying to answer the question, why did this come to me? Instead, we look for some good to come through in terms of unfoldment of inner power. We name it good and get on with the business of growing onward. One may look back with regret at the terrible toll of health and mentality through the years. A common cry of the student of truth is, oh, if I had only known this truth 30 years ago. This intimation is, it could have been helpful then, but now it's too late. It's never too late. Perhaps your chance to reach the moon or become president of your company has passed, but in terms of vertical growth, the best is yet to be, the last of life for which the first was made. You can have the years back again. You can't have the years back again to live over, but you can change through your thoughts and actions about them, and thus begin to realize the blessing from the experience. For today and every day, rejoice in the realization of your growth and potential. You are always in the flow of infinite, and you can and do regulate this flow of infinite by your attitudes and feelings. The key to abundant living is, all things are possible to them that believe that they are impossible. All things are possible to them that believe that they are impossible. I thought that was a great statement. I was like, really? Think about that. All things are possible, even the ones that we believe are, and especially the ones we believe that are impossible. Because it's easy to believe the things that we know for sure have a specific ending or a specific end game. But it's hard when we don't see the end, when we don't see that there's a solution, when we can't find the solution to our problem, when we don't know what's at the end of the tunnel. So sometimes it's really good to step back and get into the moment and say, hey, what did I learn? from this experience? What can I do now that could influence the future? Can I influence how I see this happening to someone else, or see this happening again to me, or change the way I feel about how it happened to me? It's all about our perspective. How do you see it? How do you look at it? You change your attitude, you change your feelings, and that is what you have control over. Now, feelings and emotions are different things, and I'm going to talk about that a different day. But when you know that you have a feeling about something, not necessarily an emotion, because that is something that's difficult to control at times, but when you have a sense, a thought, an inclination that something is true, then you know that that feeling is the catalyst toward what it is that you want to create. So I have this icebreaker question today that's really going to be our guiding light throughout this entire talk. So give me a second while I pull this one up, and you can see it for yourself and look at it and answer it for yourself. If you could accomplish one thing in the next year, what would it be? Now you can write that down. If I could accomplish one thing in the next year, what would it be? Now, I'd just like you to take a moment to think about that. What would you accomplish in the next year if you could? It's not an easy question, because there are a lot of things, that we have in the back of our minds that we think should be done. But I really would like you to think about what you would like to have. Because we'll always have things we have to do, things that are on our to-do list, like I said at the beginning. But this is something I would like you to really look at. What would you do if you could accomplish something in the next year? What would that be? What would it be? So we're going to be looking at what are goals. Now, I know that everybody probably knows the SMART goal formula, but we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So what are goals? So SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So when we're creating something that we would like in our lives, we have to be very specific. What is it exactly that we want? So let's say we want a new car. We have to be specific about that new car. We may end up with something that doesn't run, for example, or if we just say, I just want a car. You have to have something that's specific, be clear and detailed. Go down to the color. What color do you want? Do you want 2-door or 4-door? Do you want an SUV, or do you want a truck? You got to be very specific, because the universe works with you to create what you want. And if you just put out, I just would like a car, you might end up with a bunch of cars that you don't want. So be very clear, be very detailed, and very specific. Next, it needs to be measurable. You have to be able to see the results of your goal, and not necessarily all at one time. It can be in little chunks. So that's why when you're setting goals, you should set goals that are little small pieces of a larger whole. So for example, let's say that you want to lose weight and you want to lose 20 pounds in a year. Okay, so you want to set little measurable goals that help you track. So let's say I'm going to track, I want this goal, and I'm going to lose 5 pounds in a month. That is your first goal. And then when you reach that goal, it's something you can track. You can say, yes, I am reaching my goal. And then you can set another goal and another goal until you reach that big goal. but they have to be measurable. You have to be able to get to them because you want to be able to see your results. What happens is that if you don't see results, you get discouraged and you quit. That's just human nature. We want to be able to see, our brains are designed to see solutions to our problems. And if we don't find solutions to our problems, we'll find another problem to find a solution for. So when we want to create a goal for ourselves that's specific, we need to make it measurable so we know that we're reaching that goal. We also want it to be achievable. Is it something you can actually do? For example, I would love to learn how to fly. I don't want to get in an airplane. I want to be able to do it myself. So I don't have wings. I'm not going to grow any. So I'm not going to fly like a bird. But I could probably learn how to fly a plane or a glider. And so, or also, do I have the resources? Do I have the availability of a plane? Can I even do this? So be realistic. What is it that you want? Is it achievable? Is it realistic? Do you have the ability and the resources to do it? The next thing, is it relevant? Now, if you are a person who wants to get something because Jane next door has it, and you want to have the same thing that Jane has, but it doesn't align with what's important to you, then it's not going to manifest as easily because it doesn't align with your values and priorities. It's not relevant to you. So make sure the goal that you create for yourself is relevant to what it is that you want. It holds your values, your priorities. It's exactly is for you, not for someone else. Now, oftentimes we have people tell us that we should do certain things in a certain way, doing whatever it is they believe is right for us. Well, that's not what we're doing here. We want it to be relevant and aligned with our own values and priorities. We're setting goals for ourselves. Finally, it has to be time-bound. So again, like I was saying, we had the integral, measurable, but give yourself a time frame. When is this going to end? Is it going to be 6 months from now? Is it going to be 6 weeks from now? Is it going to be a year from now? Or where are you going to be in 5 years? Set a time frame. And then you can split it up in little chunks, like I was saying, so you can become measurable. But definitely set a time. We don't want to just let it say, oh, I want to do this, and then just let it hang. Because again, the brain is designed to solve a problem. And if it has a time frame, then it begins to use the resources that are available to be able to create a solution to the problem. So even though a goal is not a problem, the brain finds it's like a game to the brain. It wants to be able to win the game. And so when you gamify things become more fun. And also the brain likes it. If you ever played a game, you know how much the brain gets into it. So I'm going to stop my share. And I'm going to give you a moment to think about what it is that you would like to create for yourself. Right now, I would like you to think of one thing. Now, a couple of weeks ago, you had the wheel, and there are things on there that you had that you either wanted to create or that you already created. And I want you to tell one thing, because we don't have a lot of time to do goals today, but we're going to do one goal today, right now. Pick one goal that you would like to have manifest and to complete this year. What is that goal? Write it down. And then I want you to start thinking, what is specific about it? What details do you have? How can I measure it? How do I know I'm going to be successful? Is it achievable? Can I actually do this? Do I have the capacity to do this? Is it relevant? Is it really tied up with what you want, or is it something you feel you should do? And time bound. So set within a clear time frame. So right now we're going to go ahead and go into meditation. And this meditation is going to help you to be able to set those goals and to be able to create that for yourself. So get into a position that's comfortable, and I will pull that up. Hello and welcome. This meditation will help you to identify or refine meaningful goals using the SMART goal framework. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's begin by closing your eyes and allow your body to relax. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Let go of any tension as you settle into this present moment. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Bring to mind an area of your life you would like to focus on. It could be your career, health, relationships, a personal goal, your growth, or another aspect that's important to you. Now imagine yourself 1 year from today. In this vision, you've accomplished something truly meaningful in whatever area you've chosen. What does success look like to you? Picture it clearly in your mind. Where are you? How do you feel? Who is there to celebrate with you? Allow yourself to bask in the joy and pride of this achievement. Now let's take this vision and focus it into a clear and specific goal. Ask yourself, what exactly do I want to accomplish? Bring clarity and precision to your goal. Next, consider how you will measure success. How will I know when I've achieved this goal? Visualize the signs or milestones of success. Is it a completed project, a new habit, a feeling of well-being? Whatever it is, let this clarity guide you. Now reflect on whether this goal feels achievable. Ask yourself, do I have the resources, time, and ability to make this happen? If needed, imagine small adjustments to make it more realistic. Think about how this goal aligns with your deeper values and priorities. Why does this goal matter to you? How will it positively impact your life? Allow the connection to your personal purpose to inspire you and keep you motivated. Finally, bring a timeline to mind. When will I achieve this? Picture yourself setting a target date or breaking the journey into smaller steps. Let your goal feel both challenging and achievable within this time frame. Now take a moment to hold your refined goal in your mind. Visualize writing it down as a statement of intention using the SMART framework, being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. See yourself taking the first step. What action can you take today or this week to move closer to this goal? Imagine yourself being focused and determined, knowing each small step leads to success. Repeat silently to yourself, I have the clarity, motivation, and confidence to achieve my goals. I have the clarity, motivation, and confidence to achieve my goals. As we near the end of this meditation, take one more deep breath in and exhale slowly. Let yourself feel gratitude for this time of reflection and intention. When you're ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room and to your body, feeling your hands and feet, and open your eyes. Take a moment to write down your SMART goal or any insight that you've received during this meditation. And remember, you can return to this practice whenever you need clarity and inspiration. Great, so we are back.